Marry me and welcome to the Enchanted Oak. Today is Wednesday. It is our Wellness Wednesday, so I thought I would grab a cup of tea um, and sit and have a discussion about something that kind of plagues us all. I know it does me, and that's stress. Everybody has stress, some way, shape, or form. Um, you can try to be as stress free as possible, but it doesn't always work. Life happens, things happen. So I wanted to go over what stress does to us, and as way or go over some ways as well as what I use to distress that might be helpful to you, as well as can just give you an idea of some things that you can do to lessen the stress of your life. If you should have any questions or anything while we're chatting here, feel free to pop up there. I'll try to get to them. Um, and if not, you can leave your questions down below and I can go ahead and answer them the best I can. Um, there's so much research out there about stress, the effects of stress on the body, mentally, physically, everything, you name it. Um, there's a lot of research out there as well of how to de-stress and lessen the stress in your life. So, do research. I'm not a medical professional in any way. This is actually for personal experience that I've gone through. I've dealt with stress all my life, um, and I'm working to try to lessen it. Can't get rid of it completely, um, but we can try to lessen it as much as we can. Um, so stress can be home related, work related, all the above. I know I go through a decent amount of stress. I work time. I'm trying to do a business on the side. I have a family. I try to set some time throughout the day for myself, but it doesn't always work. There's not enough hours in the day. Um, and that added stress can carry over. So if I had a stressful day at work, it could carry over into my family. Um, so I try to, like, when I leave work and I'm done, that's it, I'm done. It's easier said than done, um, but I try. Same with, like, if I'm having a bad day before I go to work, things just aren't going right, that can carry over into my job. Um, and I don't want that to happen because it affects my performance at work. So, some of the things that I found with stress, the effects that it has on our bodies, headaches and pain. It could be just random, joint pain. Yes, it could be caused by arthritis or bone that healed wrong. So the weather changes, your bones hurt. It could be old age, things like that. But studies have shown that the effects stress has on the body include headaches, pain, and inflammation. Fatigue is another big one. You might notice that you're running around trying to do so much. There's so much to be done. Doctor's appointments, after school, parent teacher conferences, work, and it just seems like there's not enough time a day. And by the time you get to bed, it's like you are so exhausted that you can't sleep. And we'll get into that here shortly. But because of that anxiety, and well, it can cause anxiety, but because of that stress, when you go to bed, you're still kind of stressing over it. It's like, oh, did I get this done in time? Or, oh, I didn't have time to do this. Now I'm going to have extra, so I have to do tomorrow. And that can diminish your sleep, causing more fatigue the next day. And it also affects your digestion. You can have stomach problems, ulcers. There's many things that could happen there. And that's just on your body alone. Now, mentally, like I said earlier, anxiety. I have anxiety. I wouldn't say it's caused by stress, but I don't think it helps any. There's some people that I know that, they have a lot of unneeded stress, and it does cause anxiety for them, which causes even more further issues. It can cause depression. I've had depression as long as I can remember. Stress does play a part of that because, once I get stressed, things aren't going right, or I'm trying to rush around and do things, then I get, my mood starts coming down some. It's like, wait, I guess. And then, then I start thinking negatively. And that plays in part with the depression. Another thing that you can see when you have a lot of stress is a lot of social withdrawal. You kind of pull away from everybody. Granted, it could be you have stress because you have a deadline at work and you're like, I've got to finish this. Thinking about, and you don't want to be around people. It's not that you don't like them or anything. It's more along the lines of you just don't want to be around anybody. You start pulling away and shutting down and pushing people out. An example being, you had a stressful day at work, you come home and your spouse is like, hey, how was your day? Oh, fine. You don't even want to be around them and talk about it, which is understandable, especially, when it's been rather stressful, things like that. Another thing stress can cause is eating disorders. You could overeat or even undereat. Stress eating is a big one. There is scientific proof that for some people, eating is euphoric in a way. It seems that all their stress just disappears when they're eating, and some don't eat, and that's because it could have been there's not enough time. I can't worry about myself. I've got this I've got to do. I got to make this costume for my kids' play. I've got to do this. I've got a deadline at work to meet. I've got to get videos posted on YouTube. I don't have time to eat. And you're just constantly pushing it off to where you get malnourished and things of that nature. So knowing that, stress plays a big part in your life, and that the effects that it has on your body and on your mind and on your behavior, you're not the same when you're dealing with stress. You seem different or off. A friend of mine that I know, before, she gets off for the weekend at work, her personality is totally different. She's bright, she's bubbly, she's, wanting to do all this stuff. She goes into work on Monday, same attitude. By the time she's done with the work for the day, by the end of the week, it's her total personality change. And it's a lot to do with stress. So some things that you can do to de-stress or release some of that stress out. There's numerous things. Like for me, that's why I have this room here. My space. If I need to unwind, I've had a stressful day at work, or I was editing videos all day long and I just need a break, I'll come in here. I'll burn some incense, which I do have going now. And it helps to bring me to a place where I'm calm and collective, and I can get my thoughts in order. Another thing that I do is grounding. I can't do it really right now. It is still kind of cold here in Michigan. The ground is cold, and it's been raining on and off, even though rain doesn't bother me any. But with grounding, I'll go outside barefoot. I'll go just walk outside, out in the front in the grass, and ground myself. Knowing, if there's a lot of frustrations in the household, things are just crazy going on, or I feel anxiety going out of control, take my shoes and socks off, which I barely have on anyways, and just walk outside and just, deep breaths, listen to my surroundings, and that helps a lot. Same with walking. I would prefer to walk in nature. Not everybody has access to that. I don't at this time. So taking at least a 10-minute walk. It doesn't have to be anything fast or brisk or, running or anything. Just take a walk. It removes yourself from not only the situation, but, okay, for example, your house. Okay, so say, spring's coming, spring cleaning. things with the kids in school, appointments, stuff like that, it's getting hectic, go take a walk. You're removing yourself from the area that stress is in. It's not going to get rid of it completely. Yes, you're postponing it. You have to come back to deal with it, but it gives you that time to collect your thoughts, maybe come up with a plan. It's like, okay, to go to this appointment, come back, clean a room, go do this, come back, do that, and you kind of organize your thoughts and how you want to plan everything. If you're not big on walking or have any sort of disability where you can't walk, meditation is a good thing. Being in a nice quiet area, which is hard in my house. I got 3 dogs that'll bark at the wind blowing. The kids running in and out. My husband, he tells me about his day. You need to find, and it could be 5 minutes, if even that. Just find a nice quiet spot, dim the lights. My lights would be dimmed right now, but then you wouldn't be able to see me. But dim the lights, close your eyes, focus on your breathing. Mentally, what I do is I mentally visualize a peaceful place. It could be a cabin in the woods. It could be a stream or a stream. It's mostly a stream in the woods. Those are my go-to places. So I will mentally visualize that and calm myself down and work through it in my head. Anxiety starts to rear its ugly head. It's what I do. It's like, hey, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. It's up to you. Another thing too, I did mention incense. Aromatherapy is good. And I don't say that because, I'm a certified aromatherapist and that's what I do. But there has been scientific studies that show that aromatherapy does help with stress. A big one in oils is lavender. I do not like the smell of lavender. That's just me. So some of those scents, while it could de-stress some people, it could trigger stress in others. So it's a matter of if there's certain scents you like right now, I'm burning sandalwood incense. I love that scent. Does it calm me? Yeah, in a way, because it's a comforting scent to me. More so, I love the smell. It's kind of earthy, and it brings me to that point of, okay, got this. I can't now. It's cold. But hey, I've got that earthy scent here. So it's just a matter of finding what works for you. Yes, like I said, lavender is a big one. Vanilla is great too. I love the smell of vanilla. I can do lavender vanilla because I'll put in more vanilla than lavender because, again, I don't like the smell of lavender. I can tolerate it. I just don't like it on its own. So yeah, when I make lavender incense, my basement, that's all it smells like, and it's like, ugh, go away. But it. All right, we're back. Not sure what happened there, but YouTube decided, hey, let's stop working. Gotta love YouTube. So I was saying the next thing that I do is tea. I got my little dragon cup here. Got some chai tea, splash of almond milk. Tea can help with de-stress. I'm cutting back on my coffee. As many of y'all know, I am doing the ketogenic diet. I was drinking coffee nonstop. Coffee has a calming effect to me. I could drink coffee all day long, go sleep at night, no problem. My issue is I don't like the taste of black coffee, so I use heavy whipping cream, which is great, except I was going over my macros, and so we're cutting back. So I've gone more to tea again. I still have like a cup or two of coffee a day, but it's mostly tea and water now. And depending on my mood, I have a de-stress tea that I drink. It's got lavender in it, of course. Can't smell it as much. It's got some other stuff in there. Right now, I've got, like I said, black chai with a splash of almond milk. and the spiciness is kind of like, ooh, okay, that works. Um, Another thing too is music. If I need to de-stress, I'll throw on music. Don't have it on right now because, well, YouTube, copyright, all that fun stuff. But I do have my Echo Dots that I can uh, turn on at any time to tell her to play music, and there we go. I'd say her name right now, but she'll go off. And I think the last thing that I do to help de-stress, and sometimes it causes stress, don't get me wrong, but is crafting, hobbies. With turning it into a business, that's where the stress comes in. But if it's one of those, coloring, if you want to color, go color. I'll do that. It's not stressful because I don't have to color you guys pictures to sell on my website. But when I'm making things like, I made this last week. Yes, I can take my time and do it, but if the longer I take to do it, then it puts off other things that I need to make. So I kind of feel rushed. So I don't know, with my crafts that take part in the business, that will cause stress. But if I decide, you know what, I'm going to color. I have a desk calendar that I keep on my desk. So when I'm working, it's a color one. So I've got color pencils there. I can just sit there, and if we're slow, anything like that, I can sit there and color, and it de-stresses in a way. I know some people knit or crochet, scrapbooking, clay. Take your frustration out on clay. Again, while my hobby in crafting is a de-stressor, it can cause stress, especially, with the business and everything. So I'm not limiting it. I'm just trying to, if I'm working on something, it's like, oh, I need to do this other stuff. I'll put it aside, work on what I need to do, and then come back to it. That way I'm not overloading myself. Or you'll notice with some videos that I'll get on a theme of doing one certain thing. It could be just polymer clay. So you could have a couple weeks. That's all I'm doing is polymer clay or wire wrapping, or making teas or just anything like that. If you see that, that's because it's a de-stressor for me. That's a thing that's working at the time, and I don't want to do anything else. So that's just what I'll do. I did that a lot last year. You saw a lot of polymer clay type videos, because that's what it was. It was like, hey, I can go in and do whatever I want. This is what I'm doing. It's when I start mixing things, like, polymer clay here and wire wrapping there, the journals, anything like that. If I start doing it differently, then it's when I get overloaded and everything. So. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. Again, that's why I have my meditation room or my temple room, whichever you call it. It's my space. If I want to come and read, I can. It's quiet. Nobody really bothers me. Well, kind of. Kids and dogs. Their kid and dogs will come down here on occasion, but it's more or less my space. I've decorated it how I wanted to. When we move, I plan on having a my space in our new house, so that it's mine. There could be some days I don't come in here at all. I don't think I've really been in here since we did the ceiling, but I, for one, haven't had time, and two, it's as needed. If I feel the need to get away for a little bit, this is where I'll come to if I'm not at the craft table. That's been another reason we got the craft area all set up, and I've been doing a lot more stuff there. So sitting in here, it's kind of like, oh, well, if I'm sitting here, I could be doing something, and then I'll go and do it. So that's why I've had less time in here, but I'm changing that. I'm working on some life changes myself. Changes of how I do things. Yes, there's still never going to be enough hours in the day to get everything done that I want. But hopefully My hours will change at work to where they work better for me. And I'll still be able to do the stuff that I want to do, have time for me, have time for the family. Because I'm the type of person that I put everybody else before me. So I could be catering to the family, parent teacher conferences, after school events, um, making dinner, doing this, doing that. And at the end of the day, there's no me time. So I'm going to bed and I'm laying in bed wondering, do penguins have knees? Or any other, a bad decision I made 20 years ago. And I will lay there for hours on end and then wake up exhausted and start it all over again. But then the next day is worse because of the exhaustion. I don't get everything done I want to do. And it's just a repeat cycle. So I'm working on taking the changes I need in order to break that cycle and to get better. So, but I thought I would share this, guys, with you. It's been something that's been weighing heavily with me. Like I said, I'm going through it, and I know everybody does in some way, shape, or form. I would love to hear some of the ways you all distress, like give me some ideas. If it's something I mentioned, great. I hope it works. If it's something I didn't mention that works for you, I would love to hear it. I find that being able to talk to somebody really helps, which I do want to mention. If you get to the point in your life that, there's no way out, everything is just coming on top of you, seek help. You can talk to your doctor, especially if it's a physical ailment that the stress is causing, like pain, headaches, digestive issues. Speak to your doctor. That way they can look and see, make sure there's not an underlying issue other than stress that's causing it. I'm not saying that every headache you have is stress related, or every time you have an upset stomach, it's due to stress. Always get it checked out. Another thing you can do is speak to a counselor, friends, family. Here goes the furnace figures. But having a support system, even if it's not professional, just friends and family, really helps too. Knowing that you have somebody to talk to when you're going through a lot helps. It kind of, how I see it is, when I vent to somebody, things are going bad, I vent, I feel better. And just having someone there to listen really, really helps. There is all sorts of resources out there. And so, at the end of the day, you can do all this stuff to de-stress, but don't hold it in. If you're going through stuff, talk to somebody. Again, it helps. So that about does it. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. We do have a bonus video coming up later today once it finishes uploading. We had the Norse Blood unboxing. Loved the box. So you can check that out later. If you're new to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to us and click that little bell for notifications so that you can be notified when we upload a new video. We're trying to do every day. So far, we've been doing pretty good. I'm popping in and doing live streams a bit more. A lot of that had to do with I didn't have the video. So I figured I'd go live just to see if, that way we can get it to you. But yeah, so I'm going to let you guys go. Like us on Facebook and our other social media. You should see the links posted down below. No, it won't be down below. But hey, just the Enchanted Oak MI for Michigan on just about everything. So, with that said, I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see y'all next time.